welcome back everybody to the Dark Sports Podcast. I'm 98. This,
Dad.
You can't even see him. I'm pointing to him. He's Dad. He's kind of weird, so he might say some weird things. Don't worry about it, though. It's normal. You get used to it. Today, we are just going to be going over one of the games for our predictions, but let's talk about that Eagles game. We actually went. Dad actually bought some tickets to that game. And what do you want to say about it? I'll let you go first.
You go first. This was your first Eagles game, and you're a lot younger than me, so tell me what you think. Tell me what the experience was like.
Oh, man. There's no stadium. I've been to one other stadium. It was Arrowhead. There's no stadium that I've been to so far. Arrowhead is nowhere like Philly. Arrowhead, the fans, like, they're loyal. Philly, like, people will yell at the coaches. And they do that, like, on the regular. And something I've noticed is that sometimes, on occasion, the coach will listen to them.
Yeah.
It's something else. We saw that Saquon backwards hurdle in person. The entire crowd went crazy. And that Jahan Dotson catch, which I feel like it's a better catch than Smitty's, I'm going to be honest. Especially because that one dude at the end, they mostly stopped it before you could see it, but one Jacksonville dude, he got so mad at Jahan for catching that ball that he actually just wrestled him to the ground after the whistle was blown.
Yeah, I remember that.
That was also pretty funny. Well, yeah, we saw that live. We saw Smitty live. Jalen Hurts is looking better. I still wouldn't say he's back to what we were expecting, considering him throwing one interception throughout the entirety of training camp. I don't think he's back on that level yet. I think he's getting there, though. Hold on. The defense was okay in that game. They really started to let down in the second half. The tackling became poor, and it felt like Zach Bond was really doing everything out there. And Defensive Player of the Year type of year for Zach Bond. He's been nothing short of phenomenal. Let's go on to you.
Okay, yeah, so like 98 was saying, we went to the Philadelphia Eagles game versus the Jacksonville Jaguars. This would have been Sunday, November 3rd, 2024. This was my son's second NFL game. The first game was 2022. It was Kansas City Chiefs versus the Tennessee Titans at Arrowhead, and I'm pretty sure Kansas City won that game. We had a really good time at the stadium, went up to Philadelphia. Stadium was nice. We also went in the pro shop. Isn't Reed Blankenship one of your favorite players?
He is my favorite. He's my favorite player in the league so far.
I
bought his jersey while we were there.
Right, so in the pro shop, they had some really nice jersey and merchandise, hats, Mitchell and Ness stuff. I was wearing my number 46 Herman Edwards Eagles jersey. And one guy in line even commented on it. Had a really good time. As you guys know, NFL is very expensive. I told y'all when I started this podcast, I mean, it's for my son, it's not something I'd recommend you doing when you get your money. I've been alive a long time, and I'm just at a point in my life now where I can afford to go to a game once per year. Overall, is it the same as watching it on TV? No, it's a lot better to watch on TV, but sometimes, you want to go and get the full experience. We had good seats. I was expecting this game to be a blowout by Philadelphia. It was not, and we were there at the end. Like 98 said, oh my God, I'll never forget that, which is why I'm glad that I can say I was there. When Saquon did that run and then did the spin move like on Madden and then just jumped, I was looking. I was like, oh my God, what just happened? That was crazy. Not to mention the catches by, Devontae, and just a really good game overall. Yeah, we did get nervous toward the end when it looked like they were coming back. But
Nakobe Dean. Oh, man. I should have told you how fast the stadium cleared out once Nakobe intercepted that ball. People cheered for like 10 seconds, and then everybody started leaving.
Yeah, we were definitely one of them. Had to go. Something that was, I guess, not talked about a lot in that game, but if you were at the stadium, was the officiating. Oh, my God. That was not a fumble. We were there.
Yes, he was down. like a second. He was down for a
He was
long
down. We
time.
were right there in like row 20 something.
He was
so
down
we
for
were
a
down low.
long time.
And it was
that
like, how did they call that? Then we waited, and then they upheld it. Then there was another like turnover where they gave to Jacksonville. There was a few suspect plays there that kind of went in Jacksonville's favor, and I was like, man, what is going on here? So I could say you could take away 14 of those points from off of that score.
Oh yeah, 14. They didn't even
at least, and it was like, okay, but overall, yeah, that was an exciting game. We predicted that. Eagles at Jaguars, live in person.
Jaguars at Eagles, wrong way.
You're right, Jaguars at Eagles, yeah. Really good game. If you get a chance, go to an NFL game. And, my legs are still hurting from standing up that long.
Mine are healed. I had a hamstring injury later on. That seems to have fixed it.
Oh, my God. We had a long day standing and walking and everything else. But, yeah, nice stadium. I don't know. We'll have to think about what it is we're going to do next year. Maybe around this time. Maybe we'll go to a different game. All right, so enough of me talking. 98. Why don't you go ahead and take us into the next segment, which is going to be about the Kansas City Chiefs.
Oh, yeah. This is mainly Dad. I don't really like Kansas that much. Go on ahead.
Okay, I'll take it. So I'm just impressed that coming off of winning the Super Bowl, there was no Super Bowl letdown. Somehow they just managed to win again last night. Man, they did get that pickup from D-Hop, and he produced this season, unlike last season. But again, they just found ways to win. Sure, Tampa Bay is on the decline. They didn't have Chris Godwin. They didn't have Mike Evans. But hey, that's how the NFL is sometimes. We didn't have a lot of our good players either. But we got the job done. 8-0. Shout out to the Chiefs. All right, so let's go ahead and close this out with the final segment, which is going to be our prediction for Amazon Thursday Night Football. So this is going to be the Cincinnati Bengals at the Ravens. I remember in the earlier game, they're in the same division. So this is their second division game. It was at the Bengals. And I remember on this podcast saying that that was probably the best game I'd seen all year. That's the one that went to overtime and the guy missed the kick and should have made it. 98. Who do you got in this game coming up on Thursday?
I have the Ravens. I'm going to be straightforward and honest. Because the Bengals have had a really rough schedule. And they're also not really good from what I've seen. And especially because Derrick Henry is probably having one of his best years ever, which is surprising considering he's in his 8th season as a running back. The man is he's just a tractor trailer with legs. So good luck trying to bring him down. The read option so far has been absolutely killing linebackers because they just can't figure out who is more of a threat in this point. Because I know because I play defense. For read option, most of the time you go for the player who is the bigger threat. If the running back is a bigger threat than the quarterback and it's a read option, go for the running back, then the quarterback. And vice versa. But for them, they're both equally dangerous. And they're both really, really good at the ground game. So
True that.
Just any linebackers that have to play them, my deepest thoughts and prayers. Good luck.
Well, here's the problem that I have with the Baltimore Ravens. So you have games like the first Bengals game, and then you have games where they blow out teams like they did Tampa Bay.
And then they lost to Cleveland.
And then they lose to Cleveland. And it's like, okay, so yeah, they took it out this week. I forgot who they played. We saw the highlights, and they look good again. So because of that, they're in the division, right? The Bengals, their season is over. I think I'm going to go with the Bengals on this game. I think the Bengals are going to have more to prove than the Ravens do. And that last game where they played at Cincinnati, the Bengals outplayed the Ravens in that game. I think I said the same thing. Just like when the Bengals played the Chiefs. They played better than the Chiefs but still lost. And that first game, they played better than the Ravens. Lamar was off, but they still lost. So just law of probability tells me that somehow, some way, they might get it done this time. I know I kind of don't like going with the easy picks, but my son is going for the Ravens. I'm going to go for the Bengals this time. I don't know how. I just think that...
Can't you just take what everything gives you, man? If they're literally all... I mean, the same thing could be said for the Jacksonville Eagles game. Eagles had 3 times as much yards as Jacksonville did. Saquon alone had more
He
yards
did.
than their entire offense combined.
I don't know. It's just an intuition. If I'm right, people are going to say, oh, man, Dark really knew what he was talking about. If I'm wrong, it'll be like, oh, well. I see Chase and Joe Burrow having a big game. Their season's over, and with this being a division game, this is a chance for them to at least try to stay in the top of that division. There is that slim outside chance that they get a wild card spot.
They have to play perfectly for the rest of the season.
They have to play perfect. So I just think that...
I mean, if they lose one more game, it's pretty much over for them.
Let's not drag it out. Your pick, 98, is Baltimore. My pick is the Bengals. Go ahead and close this out, and let's get out of here.
Yeah, that's been it for this Dark Spirits, Dark Sports Podcast episode.
And this is probably the, for real, final nice, warm day of the fall. So we had to make it count.
Ooh, we got a snow wasteland coming up. Sounds nice.
I like snow.
Nice and cozy. All right.
Thanks, everybody, for listening, and we'll see you next week.
Bye.